You should have repeated the first part. You should have taken the repeat. Enjoyed it very much. Thank you. Sweetheart, do you sing? Do you do a part? Sing me the opening of the sonata. Yeah, sing. Oh, stop! What did you just do? The last thing you just sang. What? No, sing it. No, sing it. The G's. What did you do with your voice? Did you sing the G's the same way? When we play them on the piano, we're tempted to do the same way. Right? Here's what we're reading, help me out a little bit. Mozart writes a letter to his father. He just premiered an opera in Prague. And he says to his father, I am so excited, it went so well, it was a great success. Dad, if I could do nothing for the rest of my life, I would only compose opera. I said to myself, huh? So I started looking through all his music. Piano concertos, sonatas, variations. And what has struck me is that Mozart, he composes for the instrument, but everything is vocally conceived. We as pianists have to go somewhere there. Yes, he composes for the instrument, scales, arpeggios, that type of stuff. But in his mind, I can almost swear that that man did not hear instrumental music. That man heard just music. That he happened to adapt it for the piano, or in his case, the fortepiano, or the cello, or violin, whatever. It was only a reflection of what he needed to either sell, premiere, or just write down somewhere. But his intentions internally were always full. And you just proved the example when you went, see, you didn't sing in music. Then, why do we as pianists go, da da da, not that you did, that way you're much more artistic and talented. But we have to be careful when we do repeated notes, but any composition. Because if the composition of repeated notes is like a technical thing, Scarlatti has a wonderful repeated note sonata that just sounds like bullets going off the piano, you know? All right, the repeated notes are there for a rhythmic purpose, not a melodic purpose. But in this sonata, since it's such a beautiful beginning, right? It's a beautiful tune. When he gets to the G's, it's almost like, because the first one is two notes. So in order for him to underline, that's not quite the same, he gives it to us again. We start, right? Even those two notes, if played the same, you tell me, since you're such a wonderful musician, is it the same to go or which one do you like better? Why? What does it do to you internally? You don't. But you see, that's where we started. That's where I started. I like the sound better. But then when I started relating it to the way I was thinking, da, 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 it's even natural to do that. Always keep that in mind, in particular in this sonata. He has others with repeated tones. And by the way, the one carries a totally different element of the repeated note, because the repeated note then becomes almost dramatic. Bum, 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 almost like a trumpet blowing it out. And if you heard trumpets in a band, right, they really love to talk. Dun, 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 dee, dum, ba, ba. But even with the trumpet player, I started listening to them, and they never go da, ta, 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 ta. They go ya, da, 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 dum, ba, 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 ba. Even a trumpet player. So why do pianists play da, 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 da? You know what the truth is? We're lazy. Why? Because the minute we press a note, it speaks. For the trumpet player, they have to do everything. Line this up, get breath, do all this. And violin is the same way. We can just go. And that's also our downfall. So now, let's try a little bit of the opening. And let's try, for the way you feel it inside. go for the last note. Your opening is ta pa ya ta ta. Just try that for me. Make it beautiful. Okay, go. Wonderful. It's the difference between making music and playing the piano. Playing the piano is not sufficient. You're a very good pianist. You will always be because you're talented. What you have to force yourself to do, we all have to force ourselves to do, is to always forget about piano playing. Get to the point that we're technically correct and we do everything fine. But we have to go beyond playing the piano. Because playing the piano, really, once you learn it, it's not that terribly hard to do. We can go. Yeah. How do you do it? Right. Or we can keep going. Nobody else can do that. They all have to go fingering and blowing and all this stuff. We cannot make it that easy. And when a piece has few notes, like this one, suppose let's say the Brahms or the Greek concertos and this stuff, it makes us even more lazy. Because we can do it. Okay. Take into consideration always that phrase from Mozart to his father. If I could do nothing else in my life, I'm going to compose opera. Would an opera singer go, or put words on it? I love you so much, I love you so much. See the way my voice inflects the bottom of the run? And then go, I love you so much, I love you so much. Aha, you laugh. Good girl. That's what I'll make my students do. If I don't see them laugh, they don't get it. But then I say to them, then why, if you are laughing, why do you go? Why not? The more musical way. See how the music fluctuates and it sounds almost like we're singing it? That's where I want you to take that great talent that you have in your body, in your brain, and work with it. Everything you play, ask yourself, stay away from the piano. Learn the piano very well. But then sit there with the score and sing it to yourself. I have a horrible voice. I wouldn't even bother with even opening my mouth here. I'm sorry I even did it already a couple of minutes ago. Always sing it. Not only with Mozart, but do it with every composer. All the great composers, the one thing of that period, and even the contemporary periods, the melodic composers, they always have a human voice. Do you know why? Because we all begin with the human voice. Okay? Now, with that in mind, why don't we begin at the beginning? And every phrase you're going to play, you're going to color with some way in your imagination that makes it full. Can I leave that up to you and not tell you what to do? Try it. One more time. Anything else is palpable, is understandable, is felt. I'm also seeing like a different body English coming from you towards the piano as you're doing this, meaning something internally, even though you may not know what's happening, something internally is even moving your body in a different way to create the sounds that you're creating. Because your intentions are genuine, meaning that that is the way you're hearing it inside. Something else is happening. You are not letting the piano play you. You are playing the piano. By that I mean, if you worry only about playing the right notes, the piano's playing you. If you have that music inside of you, which you just proved you did, I didn't tell you to do it that way, just kind of push a little bit that way. You did it by yourself. Now you're playing the piano. The piano is now your instrument. It's the way you communicate with them. And that's what I want you to grow up to do. Because you deserve to be there. Everything in this sonata has those elements in it. Can you go, for instance, a very funny transitions in this piece. Let's talk a little bit about, do you know what I mean by transitions? You know, when he goes from first theme to second theme. First of all, theory lesson, where's the second theme begin? Show me where the second theme of the sonata first movement is. Try again. This is called the transition. What is messing you up there is that it changes to the what he's doing is he's modulating. He needs to be in a foreign key. This is sonata form, and you probably learned this in school and probably need to learn. Sonata form, he goes from the tonic, usually, and he goes to the 5 chord, which is G. So what he's doing, he's going to the second theme. It's almost like going, here's the second theme. So when you do that transition, keep that in mind. You want to continue full blast into the second theme. That's because we have well-intentioned people who say to us, stay in rhythm. The problem is the rest of the music world doesn't. We're the only idiots who go from first theme to second theme without going, huh? Don't be in a hurry. If you need, even in Mozart, more repeated notes for you too. Okay? So, can you begin here? Now play that run musically. Now, your fingers are fantastic, by the way. Now, make those fantastic fingers color notes. Time, don't be in a hurry. Now, the composer writes it on the measure this way. Do you know why? Because there is no room for him to extend his composition. But it's up to us, if we have heard enough of his music, to understand that this type of transitions mean time. That comes a little later, and you may not get it at first. You may even do too much time, which of course breaks it, or too little time, which of course just pushes it in front. The truth is somewhere in the middle for every performer. I'm going to forget about that for a while. I just wanted to introduce it, to give you a taste. And when you get to second themes, there's no reason to just go and go right to the second theme. Sometimes the composer does well and he prepares it, but in this case, there's no preparation. It's just do-re-da-boom. That's his only break. And when you play that run, like I told you, play it beautiful. How's it go? Something like this? Right. That's just 2 versions of 4 notes. That is a song like 8 notes of a melody. Can you begin from this one? Not bad. Now, sing me second theme by yourself. Sing it. Oh, listen how beautiful you sing. You sing in the choir? Play it like that. You went like this. Let me remind you. Is what you sang. Can you play that one? Now, when you get to the very top, you have those da 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 pa 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 da. Go to the last one. You'll like it better. Give me one more time to sing. And sing it inside of yourself as you play it. Keep going. By the way, I'm sure your teacher already pointed out that these dynamics and the little dynamics that are not Mozart, they are suggested by the editor. The only real dynamics in this piece, as you notice, Mozart kind of figured out that we would know what to do it. What is missing from the first part of this piece? A dynamic. He doesn't even write pianoforte or whatever. So in reality, if one of my students came into a lesson when I wouldn't even say you're wrong because Mozart didn't write it. We would have to have common sense in order to realize it doesn't go for this, right? And you do it beautifully. So, since Mozart is so haphazard in writing dynamics, there was a point that he basically, like Bach, didn't write a dynamic at all. And as you notice with this piece, everything is these little dynamics. There's not one big dynamic to be found almost anywhere. Exactly, that's Mozart. Correct, good girl. And you circle, those are Mozart's. The rest is very, very well-intentioned musical suggestions by this man, okay? So, this is something you take into consideration. You did very beautiful here. The teacher gave you a suggestion of a little diminuendo. Basically, what she's doing with that diminuendo is causing you to think like a singer. Now, this is what in music? What is this called? It's a combination of two things. Scale and then arpeggio. Sing it. Look what happened to your voice. What did you do with your voice? You began a little louder, and all of a sudden, as your breath petered away, you got softer. You heard it? Now, let's do it another way. I'm in the same dynamic. I have no inflection. Now, using your wonderful voice, I'm going to play. Do it that way. Word I've ever found to teach students. Because in every nationality, the word shape means to mold. Music does never exist in a straight line, or up and down, or across. Some music does. It's contemporary music that is meant to play motorically for the effect, but not this music. The shaping means doing this to a structure, whether you do it with sculpture, whether you do it with painting. Everything has a shape. You have a shape, I have a shape. Music always has shape. So when you see a scale in Mozart and an arpeggio, you think to yourself, where's this going? Ask yourself that question. Is it going towards a forte? Is it going towards a piano? And you shape it along the same lines. And I'm speaking, you're 10, right? To a 10-year-old in these terms, only tells me that you understand. And when I see it in your eyes, and then I hear you play it, you understand it. Little by little, as you grow up and you go through many different pieces that you're going to play, always keep these few things that I've said to you today in mind. To play with your fingers, fantastic. You're doing fantastically well. They taught you very well. Your job, along with your great teacher, is to always find the purpose of why you're playing this piece of music. Not for your fingers to exercise, to play something that's immortal and that it requires sensitivity of music, not playing the piano. The day you feel you become a musician is when you don't play the piano, you make music. I'm delighted you don't play the piano so well. But you're always going to have that, you're just blessed. The next step for you, even at this early age, is that you always keep listening to music and keep thinking, oh, I heard it go up, oh, I heard it go down, oh, I heard it get stronger, where did it come from? Ask yourself these questions. Live in music the whole day. Be a kid. I want you out there playing and doing everything you do. That's very important too. But when you get into music, whatever, you do an hour, you do 2 hours, immerse yourself in it. Listen to all these things that I'm introducing to you today. And again, I'm flabbergasted I'm talking like this to a 10-year-old, but you just don't remind me of a 10-year-old. You're a very talented young woman. So, do you understand basically what I tried to do here with you today? Okay. keep that in your heart. Now, let me ask you something. Are there any awkward spots technically in this piece for you that are, I know that this is renowned for being awkward for all of us, by the way. What fingering do you use there? Could you show me slowly? That's comfortable for you? That thumb to four? Pretty much we do, right? What you have to do when you get to the top of that scale, the reason that I felt you had a little bit of a kind of a bump there, is I think you were creating like a little bit of an artificial crescendo for no reason, simply because you saw that there's a difficulty coming, and almost like when we're going and we see a hole in the ground, we're gonna fall into and go like this. And that's pretty much what I think happened with the little bump you had. Do the opposite pianistically. Back out of it. And a good technique, even for your small hands, watch. I begin low. When I get here, to facilitate these two fingers, I do like this. Watch the raise. Try that slowly. And try a little bit of a raise. You out of the way, because the problem is playing 4 and 5 here makes it feel very weird, because we have to go back to, so that little bit of a raise, the minute you hit thumb, tell yourself, raise a little bit of raise. That measure is famous with all of us. I can't tell you, I probably played it 25% in my life where I would get there and I would go, oh please, let me get through this. Just that simple little ditty. It's almost like Mozart saying, you thought this was easy, I'm gonna throw a little curve at you. It's not impossible, right? But it's enough to always give us a little bit of fear when we get there. The only way to solve it, go on. And you'll never miss it again, okay? Any other places that we can discuss? Did you love this part here? You know what Mozart is also very weird at? He'll be in a very happy mood. Hey, how's it going? You know, da, 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 and then all of a sudden he'll give us something like this. Let's go. The sun was shining and all of a sudden the clouds moved in and the wind came in. It's almost a little bit like that. And you yourself have to somewhere internally to just understand where he is emotionally at that point. It's just a little darker, recognize it. It's not as happy as right? Even the harmonies. What I usually recommend to students here, and this may be a little bit advanced at this point, is not to treat the left hand separate. Acknowledge the chord. And what I do is I hold a little bit each note to create a sort of darkness. So when I go into this in the minor key, then we got more dissonance, more dissonance. Of darkness, he puts him in every single one of his happy pieces, just like he'll put moments of lightness in his most traumatic pieces. Right? You know the second thing is? I mean, really? That's the second theme of. I mean, Mahler would have written something like even more cataclysmic. Mozart is the perfect composer for the black and the white music. Sometimes he has grays, but it's usually black or white. And it's very operatic. To all of a sudden have a little bit of a in this happy comedy, somebody has a miscommunication on stage and they begin to kind of snipe at each other. This is kind of one of those areas. If I say to you, can you begin, let's say from here, and could you let me feel this part a little bit different than happy? If I just say that to you, how would you interpret it? A little bit less than happy. What is a little less than happy to you? What? You're blessedly talented there. Okay. Okay. All you need to do now is, when you get dark, the rhythm doesn't slack. The tempo doesn't slow down. Sometimes it helps to, but in this case, it doesn't have to. Use the same interpretation. Don't slow down the tempo. Because just because it's a little bit dark, we don't slow down. We break through it, in this case in particular, okay? But your instincts, again, I didn't tell you a darn thing. Your instincts were perfect. You knew when to go up, you knew when to go down. No longer did you play two notes in the same way twice. That's our ultimate dream as pianists, is to never play two notes. The piece I played last night, how many G's are there? G, 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 right. Is the first G the same as the second G? No, one is the starter. You see how two G's are exactly the same note, but they sound different? That is what we all want. Not because I'm blessed or anything like this, just if I had more time to think about it because of my age. Always look at music this way. I know we have to go. I know I'm being way off. It's been a delight being able to hear you play. And I look forward to someday being able to hear you in Carnegie Hall or somewhere. Okay? Keep practicing. Do we have a third performer?